Hi there, Osman. My name is Ellen, and I will be correcting these essays for you. Let's take a look at what you've written here in your first set. Schools, if they should be more entertaining. Let's see what you did. Recently, there has been a contentious issue that should be with regard to whether educational institutions should be amusing or should play uh, the singular, would be good here, the singular role of just educating. I totally believe that the notion of schools being exciting is irrefutably a step in the right direction. This essay will discuss the reasons why with some relevant examples to support my opinion. Lovely. I really like the use of the word refutably. Great. Let's keep going. Firstly, the main reason why schools should be to one's liking is that, known comma here, it increases creativity among students. Undoubtedly, without a little fun in school, students become dull and uninspired, which end up taming their zeal to willingly share ideas during class hours. All right, there's some grammar here that is a little not accurate. Okay, let's see. So without a little fun, students become dull and uninspired, which ends, you need an S here, because this is one situation, okay? Which ends up taming their zeal. Here you've got a vocabulary issue here. I mean, I like your risk taking. I like you're trying to use some language like this, but it doesn't really come across as particularly natural. So, taming their zeal. Okay, that's what else could you have done here? Which ends up, how about limiting their willingness to share ideas during class hours? All right, that's one alternative. For example, a study in the journal. Which journal? Okay, when you say the journal, it's as if there's only one and your reader knows which one you're talking about. So you could either tell us the name of the journal, okay, like Higher Education Today, or I don't know, okay, or you could just say a study in a recent journal. Oh, all right, is this the cat? All right, now, if this is your title of the journal, then you need to capitalize high school teaching. And then it works. When I saw this, I thought it was just part of the sentence. So capitalize it, and then it becomes clear that it's the title of your journal. Let's try it again. For example, a study in the journal High School Teaching found that, you don't even need these commas, by the way, so get rid of them, found that 90% of pupils who engaged in fun activities at school became more creative and the performance exam-wise had improved. Put a dash here. Exam-wise had improved significantly. Careful. You have than. So you need, let's see, became more creative and their performance exam-wise had improved more significantly than those who did not partake, one word, partake, in fun activities. This clearly shows how positive it is to make schools enjoyable. Great. That's exactly what you need to be doing. Well done. Secondly, it also reduces absenteeism drastically. Careful, you're switching paragraphs. You just had a ton of nouns in that previous paragraph. So what does it refer to? Okay, this is not the time in a new paragraph to be using a pronoun like this. So what you want to do instead is, again, tell us what you're referring to. Okay, so you could say something like, secondly, entertainment in schools also reduces absenteeism drastically. You don't need a comma here. Okay, get rid of it. A lot of people love this comma here, don't understand why. It is obvious that when games are introduced in institutions, comma, here, student turnover is less, and this is because most students, S, you don't look up to. That means you admire. That means you kind of emulate. No, that's not what you want here. You want look forward to an exciting day at school. No and. Let's try it again. It is obvious that when games are introduced in institutions, comma, student turnover is much less, and this is because most students look forward to an exciting day at school rather than being bored at home. So no and. A recent study conducted by Harvard University, no the, capital U, no comma. So again, a recent study conducted by Harvard University at a primary school in Louisiana suggested that 78% of school children who were involved in school fun activities had taken no sick days in the course of the 4 months school calendar as compared D to the 22% who did not take part in the school fund programs. As such, schools being entertaining will encourage students to attend school more. Good, nice, I like it. To conclude, in the examples and arguments given, I firmly believe that making school appealing to students will eliminate absenteeism in the future and also make students more innovative and inspired to learn. Lovely. That's good. I like it. Little things, little grammatical things, as we pointed out, but in terms of content, in terms of task development, all those things were quite good. So task achievement here would do very well. You had some good vocabulary, you had some good grammar, but of course there were some mistakes. And so that's what I want you to work on, some of this accuracy. Okay. We've got another essay from you, so let's take a look at that now. Okay, so doing an enjoyable activity with a child. Let's see what you wrote. Indulging kids in entertaining actions can advance their innovativeness and expertise more than reading does. I totally believe engaging kids in fun activities is a good idea, and in this essay, we'll give some reasons why alongside some relevant examples. Okay, fine. Now, I'm not really a big fan of the word kids. It's very informal. IELTS isn't a formal essay per se. So you can use some informal language, but it really just doesn't sound very good. Certainly doesn't sound very high level. I mean, children too is a basic word, but it still does sound a little more academic, perhaps. Kids is a word we typically use in informal settings and in spoken language. So while it's not a foul per se, again, I just prefer to use the word children. It's fine. And I realize that they use children in the prompt. It's okay. You're allowed to use some of the language. You're just not supposed to copy like full sections of the language in the task. So that's the idea. Okay? All right. So now again, comma here, you don't need it. Lots of people love this comma. It's wrong. It just goes straight. If your voice doesn't pause there when you speak, then you don't need a comma there. And you'll hear when I read it, I definitely don't pause. Okay? So, one main reason is that it keeps children active and boosts their brains. All right, so now that we've read the sentence, let's look at it more closely. Boosts is S. And again, it's just what you did in your previous essay. You have this it here at the beginning of the paragraph. You assume that your reader knows what that it refers to, but your reader doesn't because you had a lot of nouns that this it could refer to. So in the beginning of a paragraph, restate it. What are we talking about? Okay. So one main now, and then another thing, you've started straight with your main idea. Why don't you instead start with a topic sentence so that I know what this paragraph is about? Okay. Let's see. So let me show you what I mean. The benefits of enjoyable activities with children are many. One reason is that it keeps children active and boosts their brains. Okay, then it makes sense. Generally, school children learn well and grasp new things when they have the motivation to do so, and it consequently improves their skills and creative talent. For example, research showed that, again, no comma here. So listen how I read it. For example, research showed that fun experiences increase levels of dopamine, endorphins, and oxygen, all these things that promote learning and creativity. Okay, another thing about your commas and your punctuation is that it goes directly after the word. So don't put a space between, okay? So brains period, then space, all right? You don't need that comma. So oxygen, and then it's attached to the N, okay? And then you leave a space. All right, that's fine. I liked it. You talked about creativity. That was clear. All right, fine. Let's keep going. I'm just going to correct it. So listen, another reason is that when children participate in fun stuff, please don't use the word stuff. It is informal. It is vague. It's not precise. It doesn't really tell us anything. So use a different word, okay? You could say when children participate in fun activities, when children participate in pastimes that are enjoyable. So something like that. I think you get my point. Okay. So try a different word, but definitely not stuff. So stuff and things, used like this, it just doesn't work. It's imprecise and it shows like just not really a solid grasp of vocabulary. So let's keep going, okay? Another reason is that when children participate in enjoyable pastimes, it makes them motivated and inspired. I thought you just said that in the previous paragraph. Did you not? Let's see. Keeps them active and boosts their brains. The motivation. You did talk about motivation already, so I'm a little concerned about this, okay? So, undoubtedly, when children are energized, they're more willing to learn and comfortable enough to share their brilliant ideas. For instance, recently, Cambridge University, capital U, published a survey from a junior high school. You don't need all these commas here, please get rid of them. Published a survey from a junior high school which showed that when children were allowed to feel free to laugh and play some games, their sense of creativity and skill set increased immensely. Therefore, allowing children to do exciting things is irrefutably a step in the right direction. No S. Okay, now I like your writing a lot. It's very good. However, let's take a look back at this task, okay? Developing better skills and more creativity than reading. You said you totally agree, and that's fine. And so you decided to support just that position here. Now, you talked about being active and their brains, okay? And then you talked about they have the motivation. And then you talked about increasing these levels of dopamine and endorphins and so forth. They promote learning. Fine. I didn't see anything about skills. You didn't really tell me anything about skills. You mentioned creativity, and that's fine. You mentioned it twice here. Nothing about the skills they gain. Okay, let's talk about this. Now, here, what are you really telling me? Motivated and inspired. Are those skills? I don't know, maybe. You're telling me that they're more, what, communicative, more comfortable? Are those skills? Maybe they are, but I need you to argue it a little stronger, okay? A little more strongly. Let's see. Okay, and then again, you talked about creativity and you said skill set, but this is really rather vague. Like you're not telling me what skill set. So I really felt like this lacked a certain amount of focus. And the fact that you talked about creativity again, I didn't love that. I felt you kind of covered some of that in the previous paragraph. So let me tell you about the kinds of things you could have talked about in this paragraph, since you kind of already covered creativity. I would have taken some of the information here and I would have put it in the previous paragraph. And in this paragraph, what I would have done instead is I would have focused on skills. So when you're doing a fun activity, what kinds of skills can you develop? Well, first of all, it depends on the fun activity. If you're drawing, if you're painting, you can develop fine motor skills, okay? Hand-eye coordination. You can also develop creativity. Okay, so painting and drawing definitely develops those skills. If you're playing sports, this could develop also other skills like physical fitness. It can develop teamwork. It can develop sportsmanship. And these are also really important skills for children to develop. Okay, so these are some of the things you could have talked about to make it more relevant and to cover both creativity and to cover skills. Okay, so okay, now we have your conclusion to look at, so let's look at that. In conclusion, I don't know what happened here. No period, you need a comma. In conclusion, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that, please no more commas here, engaging children in fun, again, no stuff. Let me try it again. I firmly believe that engaging children in fun activities will not only motivate them, but will also make their brains healthier, which in the long run will boost their skills and creativeness. Fine. Okay, so it's a great first set. Really, you're off to the right track. Just some things in this essay regarding task achievement, making sure that it's focused, making sure you're covering all parts of the task, and also that it's direct, okay? So it's not like a kind of theoretical sort of skimming the surface, but actually really answering the question with tangible examples, okay? So Nice to see this first set. I'm really looking forward to the next set. Remember what you need to do. You need to create an error correction list. You need to correct these essays, and you need to write a new set of essays. Send all those 3 things back to us with your next set, and I'll be looking forward to it. Good luck.